kings and queens, stepping clean as a whistle when we be on the scene. Been adjusting our crown, can you see what we mean? Let's talk about it. Let's talk about it. Let's talk about it. We are the kings and queens, stepping clean as a whistle when we be on the scene. QOC. Been adjusting our crown, can you see what we mean? Let's talk about it. Let's talk about it. Let's talk about it. I'm really trying to be there for my people. Unified, be there for the sequel. You and I speak, I hope I reach you. We the vibe, QOC gon' teach you. My peoples, are you with me? Where you at? So much going on in the world, we just have to face the facts. I've been making marks in the world, so you know I can't relax. Gotta get it, got it till it's good, then be able to run it back. Hold up, we are the kings and queens, stepping clean as a whistle when we be on the scene. Been adjusting our crown, can you see what we mean? Let's talk about it. Let's talk about it. Let's talk about it. We are the kings and queens, stepping clean as a whistle when we be on the scene. Been adjusting our crown, can you see what we mean? Let's talk about it. Let's talk about it. Let's talk about it.
Triggers are like, I need you to do what you said you're gonna do. Like, I do what I say I'm gonna do. So when people can't meet me where I meet them, that triggers me. I'm like, you said you were gonna do that. You should do what you say you're gonna do. You know, that's a big one for me. Or don't say it. Just don't say something that you can't do. If you can't do it, don't say you can do it.
Whoop. Don't do it. Just don't do it. If you're not gonna keep your word, then don't do it. I'm with Coach Chris. Let's go. Let's go. Happy Wednesday, you guys. You are witnessing QOC at its finest with no other than Coach Chris, Miss Akila from Flick Chick, and just call me D. Also known as Granny, also known as, no, I'm just playing. But she doesn't. We gonna go there. It is what the old folks say, and I don't want to sound like Granny because I know that's her role. It's just good to be amongst the land of the living, you guys.
Amen.
Okay, there go our brother from Canada, y'all. He on. So he's in the comments. I don't know if he's coming on to the platform, but yeah, J. Marie, we about to get started, you guys. Tonight's topic: triggers. What triggers you? It could be in a personal relationship, a business relationship, school, work, boundaries. How is it? Emotional intelligence? Is it jealousy? What you call that? When you insecurities? Does that play a role in this? Is it different for a man and a woman? There's actually supposed to be 2 more men that's supposed to jump on this platform a little later. So without further ado, we're gonna go into some politics real quick. And if y'all don't know, you will know. The QOC will be doing its first red carpet event this Saturday. This Saturday, y'all. It will be me and just call me Miss D and the one and only J. Marie, and we got our gowns ready, and we're gonna have makeup on. I think just call me D. I'm gonna call her D because that's too many words. Y'all know I got ADD. So Miss D gonna do a tutorial of her getting ready on her little thing, and I'm gonna be watching too to see if I could copy. But The ladies will be there. This is Mommy's Perfect Match by Kitty Jones. It is Oscar nominated for 2026. We will be broadcasting, y'all, doing the whole shebang, the red carpet, all of that. God move when you move out the way. And I'm going to say that. We limit God. We put boundaries on God. And I'm going to tell you how we put limits on God, because we just say, Lord, if you just give me A, I won't ask for nothing else. And God is saying, I'm going to give you A through Z. If you just do what I ask you to do and you just align yourself how I want you to align. How does it align? This brother that's on here, Mr. Conrad, y'all don't know, we have acknowledged that. There he is. He is all the way in Canada, you guys. God has collaborated. We have collaborated. And Mr. Chris will be working personally with Mr. Conrad out of Canada. This collaboration is just for the men. It's their safe space. If y'all haven't followed Coach Chris, y'all know he's really, really big on men's mental health and in coaching young men. And that was something Egypt couldn't give because Egypt is not a man. I could create a segment, but I can't talk on that. I'm not no man. I don't know what they deal with. I'm listening. And just because we have men on the platform, now I know some of the stuff that they go through. Because I had this stereotype in my mind, what a man was, and that was it. But we're seeing things have changed. We got emotions. They triggered just like we are, Miss Akila. Because Miss Akila like, yeah, I'm ready. I'm ready to go. I got the buzzer for her. So if y'all heard the buzzer go off, that's because my sis over here, she gonna do that. That is our politics, y'all. That is some of the good news from the QOC. And we're going to start this conversation off on triggers. And I'm going to give y'all the definition of what they say triggers are. Anybody can read that. Who want to read it?
In psychology, a trigger refers to a stimulus that causes a strong emotional or behavioral response. Triggers can be related to past experiences, memories, or learned associations. They may precipitate. Next slide, please.
What happened? Love it. Okay. There
Patterns of thinking, or sorry, I just started at the bottom. Lord, they may precipitate intense emotional or psychological discomfort, such as anxiety, panic attacks, or negative patterns of thinking.
All right. And how we're gonna start this? My sister that's in here, Miss D. I'm gonna start with her because I want to know what she was triggered with the other day. I was just strolling. I was supposed to be doing my I was supposed to be working. It wasn't my break time, so I'm gonna be transparent. And I strolled up on her, and she was talking about, she was listening to the song Yolanda Adams, "Open My Heart." I believe that's what she was talking on when I came in, and she was having a vulnerable, transparent moment on her live on TikTok, and she was triggered. And it just, it did something to me because I couldn't go and hug my sister. I couldn't say, girl, here's my address, pull up, because she was at work too. That kind of thing. So we're going to start with her. I just want her to talk a little bit like kind of what happened that day to get you at that point where you had to go live. And why go live?
You know, I wanted to go live. Anytime I have experiences, I want to tell. I call my chat the D fam because I look at us as family. But the past few weeks, I've been battling with me feeling like I'm that little girl again, or I feel like everybody's letting me down, or I don't have a voice, or everyone's disappearing on me. So I felt alone, you know. But what I had to remember is that everyone that I felt was leaving me, or anyone that did anything to me, whether it was a relationship or family, I had to take accountability for myself, because at some point in time, I didn't have to let them make me feel the way that I felt. I didn't have to stay in that relationship if I didn't want to. I had to start taking accountability for my actions. And one of my favorite songs is Yolanda Adams, "Open Up My Heart," because she wasn't talking about anybody else. She wasn't talking about trying to save other people. She was talking about herself, being in a room alone with God. So it's kind of like, how do you know what triggers you or affects you if you've never spent that time to get to know yourself? Go through things yourself. You have to take accountability, because at the end of the day, it's just yourself. You are responsible for yourself and no one else. So that's what that was that day. Me kind of working it through my head a little bit again, because we're human, so sometimes I still go through triggers, but it doesn't affect me like a crash out. Not gonna cuss everybody out or go off on everybody. I'm gonna take that time and work on myself. So yeah, that's what that was about.
I just know when I ran across that, it just touched me, because I think I was feeling that way that morning, and I didn't want to acknowledge my feelings. So to see someone do it so openly, it kind of messed me up. But it made me say, hey, Egypt, you're not the only one that's feeling this way. It's other people that feel this way. Now, what you going to do about it? What we're going to do about it? Talk about it. And then what we're going to talk about it for? Because we got a in-house licensed therapy that just joined the chat. If y'all don't know, Damani is one of he's our counselor. He's our prayer warrior. He's my confidant, and he don't charge me, y'all. I'm not on his tab yet, but I know if I go one more time, he gonna invoice me. But this brother has, every time I was triggered, he could sense it, and he's always been in the paint. And I'm gonna say this real quick. He got a project that's coming that's gonna hit QOC, y'all, in some months. That's gonna rock the relationship world. I'm so honored and proud to have him on here, but these are the type of shows where we need people like him in place, because we could talk about our feelings all day, and I could give you an opinion, Chef D, on what I need to do or what you should do. But we have a licensed therapy that's going to validate all of this for us and break it down why we feel that way. And at this time, because I know he done heard what you said, if he don't get that bottle of water, you good. Because if he get that bottle of water, sis, you in trouble. He will give you the long-winded version of what you need to do, sis. I'm just letting you know from experience. Oh, Lord, I saw the cup. Jesus, take the wheel. Lord, take the wheel. Damani, help our sister out. I'll start with her first.
What's going on, y'all, man? How y'all doing today? Thank you for, even extending an invitation to come out and talk about triggers. At the end of the day, this is something that we deal with, something that we process on a daily basis. A lot of traumatic events occur, and especially in our community, we often overlook them. We often, either pray it off, or we utilize substance abuse. We utilize work. We utilize so many different things to kind of get our mind off of it. And we don't take time to sit in the space of whatever the issue is. We don't take time to really process what occurred in our life. What did I see growing up? How did that impact my life? And a lot of times we have unrealistic expectations of how much grief can have an impact on our life and on our day-to-day functioning, or or we have a lack of understanding on the impact of the very first relationships that we have, which is with our mother and father, whether they're present or not, and how that impacts the way that we view relationships, the way that we handle trauma, the way that we respond to flight or flight risk. Like, all of those things connect to who we are as a person. And what happens is there's certain things that happen in life. There's certain moments. It could be a smell. It could be somebody walking down the street that shaped just like your auntie or your uncle or whomever, and all of a sudden it hits you. It could be that we feel as if, we're over something, and yet we hear the voice, or something happens which causes us to go back and reflect, or go back into the traumatic experiences. Oftentimes we don't even recognize it as triggers. We just know that every time such and such does this, it pisses me off. Not even recognizing that this is tied to a traumatic event. So the fact that you took time to process it, the fact that you have a song that you go to, you know that you can give your space, and the fact that you even expressed it, that's part of the healing process. That's something that I try to live that wholeheartedly, even in my life when I'm dealing with something. Like, I'm not afraid to let people know about it. I'm not afraid to cry. Like, I'm not afraid to do any of those things, because you don't know who you're impacting, and you don't know who you're causing to face the reality of what's going on. There's a saying that I've learned. Running from it will not save you. And no matter what you do, no matter how you try to separate yourself from whatever the issue is, it's not going to save you at the end. You have to pay attention to what's going on. You have to acknowledge it and face it, because the only way that you can recognize your triggers is if you are actually embracing what's going on. And it's scary. So I'm not even going to act like it's not. It's scary, especially in a society where we are always supposed to be strong. We're always supposed to have it. So, all right, I'm going to slow down there because I can go all day. So.
Thank you, Damani. And you see, you already stirring up stuff in the comments. People talking about they crying now. It going on. But this is what this is for. This is what QOC is for. We are to have these hard conversations. I even told the young ladies before, I'm gonna be fun. Look, I ain't got but one eyelash on, y'all. I got it covered up because I already had my moment before the show started. I was triggered early on today. Me and another young lady that is part of QOC, we were triggered today in a really, really bad way. And I'm gonna let Akila go next, and then I'm gonna let Coach go, Chris go next. Don't be looking crazy. And then we're gonna dive into these videos because I want to see what y'all reaction is gonna be to a man defining triggering, a woman defining triggering, and of course, we got our therapist on here that's gonna cool everything down and smooth everything out. For me, he gonna get they got the baby in the background. We need you too, little therapist in the making.
You say hi.
Hi. I love the family man. I love the family man dynamic. But I was triggered because, and I don't know if Akila and Coach Chris has been triggered lately, but I was triggered because when we came on, we played the video with Alicia Keys when she say she was triggered because you didn't do what you say you was gonna do. I brought someone around in my space thinking that positivity and growth was gonna occur. And this is where I'm gonna be transparent. Y'all know I go to God and I speak to God a lot. I kept talking to God and I kept talking to God and I kept talking to God. And I thought I was hearing God say, be still. When in actuality, that wasn't what God was telling me to do. But I kept wanting God to say that. So I kept saying that's what God was telling me. So in the end, it didn't pan out right. And we have to let something go or someone go. And then you come to find out that all that battling you were doing to prove why they were a good person, they wasn't a good person. So I'm triggered because I trusted you to do something that you said you stood on and you didn't. And Damani just said, is it because something that happened in my past that maybe that situation triggered me, or past traumas, or is it because I allowed it to come and do what it's supposed to do and it triggered me? That's my thing. I'm gonna let Damani come back behind us, but I expect you to be a woman and a man of your word when you come to me. I know we all human. We make mistakes, we make errors, we make flaws. I get that. I am so compassionate on it because I mess up. But if I hold you at a standard and you're telling me that that's your standard, and you fail me, my heart feels a certain type of way, especially when I'm dealing with my people. Because in the back of my mind, for QOC, we can work together. That's my end goal. I tell them that every day. We can work together. We could prove the label wrong that Black people cannot work together. We can show them that people from all walks of life can come on a platform and talk, and that's what we're doing. Mentioning we got somebody all the way in Canada that'll be on here in a minute, but God has opened and expanded us. But now I'm triggered, and I'm saying, Lord, don't let that hinder me or be closed off to the blessings that you have for me and my people that's on QOC. That's my trigger, y'all. Akila, I don't know why you thought I was gonna skip you.
What triggers me? Men trigger me.
Let me get the buzzer ready, Damani. Hold on.
I was raised by a man, so it makes sense. And shout out to my daddy for raising 3 girls by himself, like that in the 80s. Like that was unheard of. But honestly speaking, distrustful people. Please don't lie to me. From my kids to my boss. Don't lie to me, because she's a runner, she's a track star. I will turn around and leave. I'll quit a job, I'll quit a friendship. I didn't quit all the men's, so I'll leave. I don't want to be here for this. I can't trust you. And without trust, I don't think that there is a relationship with anybody. That's it. I kept it G.
Oh, you want to get fucked up. You want to get...
I ain't a fighter. I ain't a killer, but don't push me.
And that's why I say that one for you. That was for you. Low key crazy. Y'all know she like some scary movies and stuff. She's studying how to get away with murder while she on QOC giving reviews. She secretly telling us how she gonna dismember people. But okay, Coach Chris, triggers. Have you had any?
Man, listen, first and foremost, Akila, listen, I refuse to believe the whole getting away with murder type stuff, man. That sister, she's sweet as pie, man. She all right. She's straight. The money was good, bro. It's always good to see the brothers in the mix, man. Shout out to you. Dang, man, triggers. Um, Sister D hit it off proper. It in Egypt, we probably gonna say this exact same thing, agreeing with D. It's my trigger is, and it's the accountability piece at the end of the day, but my trigger is that I expect me out of somebody else, if that makes sense. I expect me out of someone else. So if I treat you good, yeah, I treat you good. I'm honest with you. I'm polite with you. I'm showing you love. I expect that back. And when I don't get it, it's like, dang, like it's a major letdown. But at the end of the day, that comes back to me. It's the accountability on my end. And so, yeah, that's my trigger right there. That's something that I got to get over. That's something that I got to work on. Like you said, Egypt is like, listen, I guess, extend grace or extend some love or whatever the case may be. But it's like when people show you them, then that's when you got to take the scissors to the umbilical cord and be like, yo, we got to sever ties or whatever the case may be. You don't cross me once, cross me twice or whatever. Nah, we done. But that's my trigger. I expect me when I see me, I expect me out of other people, and that don't happen. It messes me up. The money broke down, triggers to the T, and from my standpoint, when I think about triggers, I think about like habits. Like my man said, like my man said, what angers you, stuff like that. When I think about triggers, I think about habits. And so if for example, if you're going down 35 and you're like, okay, it's too much traffic on 35 and the people pisses me off, you need to take a different approach. Go I-45 or something like that. Nothing changes unless something changes. And so when it comes to like triggers, you got to pinpoint the habit. This is what's stressing me out. This is what making me angry. This is what's doing this. This is what's causing that. When you do that, you pinpoint the trigger, you pinpoint the habit, and you got to like make a shift. It's like, okay, instead of going 35, let me go down 45. Like, let me make a shift in my lifestyle. Let me make a shift in my mental and bring about a change or whatever the case may be. And then that's when that habit, that trigger, that's when something powerful begins to happen. Now you're starting to take control of your life. Now you're starting to take control of the stress, the anxiety, the anger, and all this other stuff like that because you're making a shift. So once you break that habit, break the old habit, but replace it with a new habit, a better habit. So when it comes to triggers, that's the advice I would give. Just switch up, do something different, do something more positive. And at the end of the day, that trigger will no longer be a trigger. It'll just be something of the past that you conquered.
All right. Y'all have heard it from everybody, even our therapists. I'm gonna play this video and then I'm gonna strike out with Damani. Oh, Damani want to talk. He ready.
Hold on, yeah, not so because I feel like it's very important for us to also recognize that there are different types of triggers. Mm-hmm. So right now, we're focusing a lot on emotional triggers because that's one aspect of it. But I mean, there's several different types, and some would include. And I just want to make sure that we, even just acknowledge them, even if we're going to focus on emotional triggers in this segment. But there's stress triggers. Think about work. If there's a deadline that's expected, you get nervous. People who have issues with social interaction, public speaking, the fear of unknown, uncertainty, stress trigger. There's trauma triggers, PTSD. That's one of the biggest things in which certain sounds, certain smells, certain images can bring you back to a space that you was. Abuse-related triggers in which the way that, if a door closes a certain way, if the way that somebody says a word to you or the way that they move their hand gestures, you see often victims, especially children, if somebody move their hand suddenly, they flinch like that. That's a physical trigger based upon trauma. There is the different behavior triggers where just environmental clues like, seeing a cigarette or alcohol can trigger a craving for you to have different types of behavior, or like time-based triggers. If there was at a certain time we snack, like my girls, every time we get in the car after daycare, they want a snack. They want something to drink. It's something as simple as that. But that's a certain time of the day in which something continues to happen habitually over and over again. So therefore, when we get there, we're triggered to have that expectation. There is cognitive and sensory trigger. People talk about cognitive dissonance a lot of times, where you have a struggle between your beliefs and the attitude in which you're living, the reality that you're living in. Negative thoughts of yourself cognitively. That's a lot dealing with work when you're talking about imposter syndrome. Having imposter syndrome where you feel like you're not good enough. That's a trigger based upon what's going on in your life. There's the sensory triggers in which you hear a certain type of music, sounds, smells, textures, social triggers. There's a lot of triggers. That's all I want to say. There's a lot of triggers, and I felt like it was very important before we move forward to try to focus on what we're today. It seems as if the focus is real emotional on emotional triggers. How do we respond to stuff emotionally, and that's very important because we deal with that on a day-to-day basis. But I just felt like I wanted to, just mention the other different types of triggers that are out there because there's a plethora of them.
Plethora. I've heard it from our licensed therapists. I put emphasis on license because I need y'all to know that this is serious what we're discussing. Without further ado, we're going to roll into he got the money that messed up my groove because I was gonna start with one video, but now he chunking me into this. We're gonna start with the man first, doing his interpretation of triggers, and then we're gonna go into it. So give me a second. Yeah, let me load it up here.
Whereas like when you've experienced trauma, you're gonna be triggered forever. It's how you respond to your triggers that reflects where you are on your healing journey. You feel me? Because like when you cut deep by so it's like when we talk about healing, a lot of time like it's a popular saying to come healed. All right, for y'all that believe that, if somebody lied to your Like, healing even down to the physical is not a linear journey, bro. Like, if y'all watch sports at all, listen, who could have been sitting out for a whole year just trying to get his ankle together. He come back, first game, drop 40. Next game, he get hurt in warm-ups and he out for another 2 seasons. You feel me? That's how healing work and heartbreak. You really might have think you done the work because you haven't run into the part of you where the work still need to be done. You feel me? Like, don't shame yourself. Don't feel like you're not still worthy of love and worthy of, you feel me? It's just that when you really doing the work and you self-aware, you understand it's always something to be done. And what needs to happen when you still under construction, you just need to make sure your boundaries set up in such a way that the person across from you not affected by the work that you're doing.
All right. So, I like Trip. And I guess he had to use sports metaphors for the men's side of it. One thing I've learned about triggers, and I don't like them. I don't like triggers. I'm gonna be honest. I know Damani gonna come back with his thing on triggers. I don't like them. I don't like to be triggered. Because I'm gonna be open, because what has happened to me as a little girl for years by a family member, we'll go there. I could be at my son's school and I could see a little girl come out to school that might resemble what I looked at like at that age, and I'm triggered. Or I might ride through a certain part of Dallas, which the incidents used to take place in, and I get triggered. And what you mean triggered, Egypt? I get anxiety. I get sweat. I get angry. I want to fight. I'm like, Akila, let's take on the world. Who, what? Like, I get into this defense mode that I don't like. I haven't learned, and I know Damani fits to help us. I haven't learned how to healthy deal with my triggers. I deal with them in a bad way. And when you get me there, if you ever heard me cuss, you be like, nah, that ain't Egypt, because Egypt not like that. Egypt sweet. Egypt. If you ever push me to that, it's like no coming back for a while. I don't like that. Damani, help me. How do we deal with triggers? See, I got him free. I ain't even got to be on the couch. Look at her. Look at that. Won't he do it?
So one of the first things you have to do is, like I mentioned before, running from it will not save you. The thing about triggers is that, just like Trip, shout out to Trip Fontaine, man. That's my boy. I rock with him. But the thing about triggers is that you don't know when it's going to pop up. There's no expectation of you can possibly expect the trigger every now and then, but that's why they're triggers, because it happens randomly. So one of the things you have to do is identify it, name it, call it out, recognize what it is, take a step. That's why, I recommend, if anybody ever lived on this earth past the year 2020, they need to go to therapy. COVID shocked the whole world, but we all need to go to therapy in some space. But being able to name it and process it and be able to work through it, be able to recognize, hey, what happened to me during that time? What happened to me? What happened to that little girl? Because that little girl is still there.
Can I stop you for a second? Yeah. How do you work through it? How do you work through that?
By acknowledging it and going to therapy for it personally. It's scary. It's not easy, because that's one of the reasons why people don't like triggers, is because it pops up and it's uncomfortable. Like, triggers are very uncomfortable. It provokes anxiety. It provokes you feeling, rushed and not knowing how to control your hands, and you may be shaking and you gotta pull over and just pray or process. But that's because it's still knocking at the door, and we have not opened that door. We have not opened that closet and giving ourselves time and space to be able to process it in a way that's healthy. So by acknowledging it first, and by expressing, the things that you've been through in a safe space with a licensed professional. I recommend a licensed professional because we're trained in this space to be able to help clients with this, but being able to be self-aware of that. And then the next part is, learning some coping strategies. In the event that I'm outside or breathing techniques. How do I ground myself? Because this is an emotional space. We might not have the time to sit in it when it's happening, but let's learn to ground ourselves. Let's learn how to regulate our emotions. Do we need to take a day? Like sometimes we have to also take a look at our work life or our work-life balance. What are we doing? Am I working so much and then a trigger happens, then all of a sudden I can't get through this day. I can't get through this moment. So being able to recognize your emotional tank, being able to recognize, different techniques in that way. That's just a starting point. I mean,
he ain't got his cup yet, y'all. He ready. Give him a minute. Let him get a sip of that cup, that water, or that HC. He got something healthy over there. Let him get a sip of it. He gonna be back. Miss D, what you think? What
Again,
you think?
Not a licensed therapist, just by experience. I do agree with Damani. 2020 took a toll on a lot of us, but how it affected me was, some people know this, I got real sick in 2020.
Oh.
Where I had to go to the hospital. At that time, nobody was able to go to the hospital with me. Nobody can go in there, hold my hand. Nobody can be there to comfort me. And it made me sit there and do a lot of thinking. And what Damani said, you have to acknowledge what you're going through and you have to face reality. A lot of people don't like to face reality because when you face reality, it becomes real.
Mm-hmm.
So it puts people, for me, it put me in a state of fear to face the reality. Like, I'm angry, I'm depressed, I'm sad, I feel abandoned, all these different types of things. And then also contributing to the fact, like, that was the biggest part of why I got sick in the first place. Stress can affect you in so many ways when it comes to the body. And that's what was going on with me. So once I had a conversation with God, because that was the only person that was there at the time, you know what I'm saying? He told me, you need to heal. And I was like, okay, I know I'm gonna get right. I'm gonna take this medicine. He's like, no. You need to slowly go through from all the way when you was a little girl all the way up into now. So I left the relationship that wasn't making me happy. I finally said no to my father for the first time. I finally got into a job that was going to make me happy and not just working and just to get a check to take care of me and my son because I'm a single mom. I started saying no to others and saying yes to me for the first time. So, and it takes time, like what Tripp was saying before, I said this in my live one time, it's a difference between you healing and being broken. At that point in time, I was broken, and I had to acknowledge I was broken at that time. I wasn't even in a position to start healing because I was just so broken. But over time, over years came, I'm like, okay, I'm starting to heal. And when you come across a trigger, sometimes you just feel like you still feel that sore sometimes. And it kind of brings you back to what happened at the time when you got that sore initially. So that's what I take from that. For me.
Come on, y'all. Come on and host the QOC. That's what I'm talking about. Miss Akila. Because when she said no to dad, I saw your facial expression. So were you triggered? Did I pinpoint it? Did I pinpoint it? Uh-oh. We can't hear you. She done got triggered and her computer done messed up on it.
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Okay.
We can hear you.
There we go. I think my mic died. I tried to not be triggered.
I saw your face though, and I know Damani saw it.
What she said. Being raised by my father, since we're all being vulnerable this evening, I learned as an adult that my father is a narcissist. I didn't know what narcissism was growing up, but it made a lot of events in my upbringing make sense. And for me, it's like those of us who are parents, we are parents and then we are our first names, right? Because we were those people before we became parents. I have reached a point in my life where I can separate the daddy from the man. That is hard. Y'all, that is difficult. Knowing who your parent was before you and then seeing who parented you as not your parent, but this person who got some kids. I'm all right. Everything's fine.
Yeah, Damani listening to that tone of voice. He looked up like, no. Wait a minute, I got something for that one too. I got a video for that one too.
Something is wrong here. Dead giveaway. Dead giveaway.
Charles, thank you very much.
Giveaway.
Okay, so even with me separating my daddy from his first name, my dad now has Alzheimer's.
Oh Lord.
So I've also reached that age where there will be no retribution, there will be no conversations with my daddy or the man about the things that I went through growing up. So I struggle with that. And you can go on to the next person.
Before Chris come on and Damani, we're going to try to start this conversation. We're eating this hour up, y'all. We might go a little longer, y'all, because the conversation is good. We see you guys come in and give us a second. I'm going to roll into this next one, and I'm going to pause it on some sections because I want Damani and Chris to kind of chime in on it. And then we're going to roll the rest of it. And then we'll all come back and talk to it. I had all these videos lined up and we're not going to, it's not going to happen tonight. But we are going to get to this one because I figured this one really, really like it. Yeah, it triggered.
Experience another heartbreak, when you experience another wound, when you experience another trauma, old traumas get re-triggered. But in my season of deficit, I was driving one day, dealing with my own grief of everything I've lost, and out of nowhere, it felt like this gut-wrenching emotion just hit me in the pit of my stomach. And I was like, where did that come from? And it was this cry out of what we call our inner child. A part of healing means I have to acknowledge that little girl, because what got re-triggered was every belief that you had as a result of your traumatic upbringing. But now I have my inner child saying, see, this is why good things don't happen.
I'm going to pause it right there. We got Mr. Conrad coming onto the stage too. And I'm going to let the men have a round of go at it. I'm going to let Mr. Conrad talk too. Damani, did you hear what she said when she had to go back and talk to the little girl? What if we don't want to do that? What if we don't want to address the issues with the little girl? Is that the only way to heal?
So, not wanting to talk to that little girl or that little boy, what is that doing? What are you saying to yourself? Oftentimes, we got to recognize that, and I mentioned that earlier, like that child's not going nowhere. Your inner self isn't going anywhere. A lot of times, we see these emotionally immature individuals. Oftentimes, it's that child still reaching out to be loved, still reaching out to be heard. I was talking with a few clients this past week even about, disrespect and them having issues with their children because their children are disrespectful. And, I had to bring it to their forefront, to their attention that the example that I like to give is if I'm laying on the ground and I'm lacerated, like I'm cut, they cut me and I'm bleeding out of my stomach and I yell to you, help me, call the police, help me now. Are you going to focus on the fact that I'm yelling at you and say, you know what? I don't like the tone of your voice. I don't like how loud you were. You were too loud. Calm down and come back and talk to me later. You're not going to do that. You're going to adhere to what I'm saying because I am dying, because I am hurting. When our children respond and act out and lash out, oftentimes that is them expressing that I am dying in this moment and I need help. I need you to see me. Oftentimes we focus on what is said. We focus on how something is said and not what the individual is saying. And really listening to what the individual is saying can allow us to recognize where we can heal. Because if your child is yelling that you don't ever take care, or you don't care about me, you don't love me, and we focus on the fact that they're yelling but not hearing that they don't feel loved by their mother or their father, then that's the real issue here. So what happens is we become adults who respond in that way. So our inner child is telling us that we still don't feel loved and we still don't feel heard, but yet we're running from it and we're ignoring it, doing exactly what has been perpetuated to that child when we were children. Like we're literally doing the same thing that our parents, that whomever hurt us, did to us. We are doing it to ourselves. So if you want to heal, you can find coping mechanism, but all that's going to do is put a Band-Aid over.
Yeah.
It's all it is. All you're doing is literally putting a Band-Aid over a full laceration that you need surgery for, that you need stitches. And guess what's going to happen? That gauze, you're going to have to keep changing it every single time. So that means, and guess what's going to happen every time that you mess with it? It's going to cause it to become even more deeper. It's going to hurt even more to a point where there is no repair, in which you're, 60, 70, 80-year-old, and now you don't feel the need. Or what happens is we develop these habits. We develop drinking habits. We develop all of these unhealthy coping mechanisms, which that can lead to our early demise. So to answer the question in terms of will that inner child, ignoring that inner child, what if we don't want to run? What if we don't want to answer it and we constantly ignore that inner child? All you're doing is causing deeper emotional wounds, deeper emotional trauma that is only going to continue to seep even larger and larger, because that child's not going anywhere. You know why? Because that child is you. At the end of the day, it is you. It's nobody else. It is literally you. So what you're telling yourself is, I don't love you enough. I don't care for myself enough to get the help that I need in order to heal, because I'm afraid of what happened. I'm afraid of acknowledging what already happened. It already happened. It ain't going nowhere. Like, it already happened. That person touched you. That person did whatever. It happened. Acknowledge it. We don't have to accept the behavior, but accept the action. And let's find a way to heal from that, so that we don't allow it to continue to be a wound in which we don't trust men, in which we don't trust individuals, in which we don't trust so many different things going on in our life. That wasn't a dig towards you, Akila. I just thought about it.
I feel attacked this evening.
That's okay, because we all need to be attacked right about now.
No,
we need some help. We're a little thrown. What the old folks say, we're a little touched. But that's okay. And y'all see the men are flying on the stage. We got OG Mr. Jay Holland, which is the wild card for QOC. My longtime friend and now collaborator with the QOC on here, and we're talking about triggers. Damani just got through wrapping up. Is Conrad still on here? Look like he dropped off, but he'll probably back on. Who was I going to? Chris. I was going to Chris. That inner child. As a man, has anything happened to you where you have to go back to the little boy in you and say it's okay? I just want to know, do men get triggered like we do?
Yeah, because we're human as well. Genders don't, don't make a difference, man. The money was spot on. Now, as far as something happening to me as a little child, not really. I mean, the regular stuff. Oh, you fat. You this, you that. You're not smart enough, whatever. That's one thing. But I still feel like even at the age of 20, 30, 40, 50, we still got that little kid in us, and you're going to come against something that you feel that's bigger than you, and you might shrink at it from time to time. And like the money said, I was curious too. Like, are there other avenues as far as like how can you conquer triggers? I was curious too. The money pretty much broke it down. So if I'm not mistaken, bro, the only way you can conquer a trigger is by you pretty much just facing it at the end of the day. Like you gotta acknowledge it. So and that's what popped up in my mind. I'm like, you just gotta face it. And when I talk to men, I'm like, one of the biggest things, one of the biggest, greatest tools that we have is facing adversity and conquering that adversity. And I always say on the other side of adversity is your better self. And just to talk about a moment in time, because like my sis said, we're just being transparent. 2 years ago, I got into a bad car accident. I'm up here in Boston, Massachusetts. For those that don't know, during the winter seasons, it gets real cold, it gets snowy, it gets icy, all of that good stuff. And I was on my way home from work. I took a certain route to get home. And there's only two ways for me to get home. So I took this particular route, and my car hit a patch of ice, and I spun out real bad, and I hit a pole, and it just shook me to my very core. Like, I thought I was about to die, like hitting that pole, like you out of control, and there's nothing you can do about it. And I hit that pole, slammed up against it, and it just messed me up to the point where it took me a while to even go down that route again. I did not want to go down that particular road because every time I will bypass it, I'm like, yo, I'm thinking about that accident and I could have died. So I would take another route, although it might be longer, more traffic. I want to go down this way because psychologically I'm not messed up about it. But eventually I had to face it. And the more that I acknowledge it, the more that I faced it, the more I went down that route, I got more comfortable. So I agree with the money, man. Like that sister said, like old traumas, you know, she was spot on. Like you just got to acknowledge the trigger. And once you acknowledge the trigger, you face it. And when you face it, the more you face it, the stronger you get. Like, okay, this trigger, like it's smaller than me. You know what I mean? It's that's all I got from it. I mean, nothing crazy happened to me when I was a kid, but as an adult, that's when all my, I guess you can say, triggers and traumas and all this other stuff, that's when that started to happen. And but honestly, the more that I face it, the more that I adopt the mindset of facing adversity. I mean, the easier that it gets, man. That's all I can leave for the people, man. Is just face it. At the end of the day, it's it's one of them things. When I think about triggers and not facing it, pretty much you giving it to a weakness, and not to like be disrespectful or nothing like that, but I feel like triggers hinder you at the end of the day, and if you don't face it, it's like you're just going to be boxed in, and you're not going to become the higher greater person that you were meant to be, because that particular trigger is keeping you boxed in and it's keeping you emotionally, physically, and spiritually bound. So that's all I got on it.
Mr. Jay Holland is on set, y'all. If y'all have never heard him talk, we have interviewed him a couple of times, and then y'all have seen me do like some stuff outside of in the community with Mr. Jay Holland. He's always in the community giving back to the kids and stuff. Mr. J come from the hood. He's a hood boy, if he don't mind me sharing that part of his life, because I'm a hood girl. I'm a Pleasant Grove girl. He's South Dallas young man. And with that being said, his testimony, and I'm gonna have to find it and share it with you guys, or have him to share it to me so I can share it to the platform again. The young man had a testimony that shook me to the core about him meeting Satan while he was unconscious on life support. And that triggered me so bad. I just want to hear what he has to say on triggers. And I'm gonna change the layout, y'all, but this video is on pause. And I want to finish this video out, and then y'all will be able to see Mr. Jay Holland and the rest of the crew here. But Mr. J, give us some more triggers. You just cut out a Bible study. Give us some.
Okay, I'm gonna give y'all 3 quick ones, you know, cause I don't never like to drag stuff out. But one of my triggers was I was bullied growing up. I used to be skinny like Snoop Dogg and Urkel. So I found myself being over masculine in situations to deal with other brothers. I felt like every brother was my enemy. I used to walk into a room full of dudes, and the first thing used to go through my mind was I was already trying to see who I'm gonna knock out first. Like, you know, I'm mapping out the room. Like, I got to get him first. He the biggest. He look like he like this. I can hit this one with a chair. I can bust a ball across this one head because had been in so many messed up situations. My trigger, you know, from being bullied was making me be too over aggressive and felt like I had to be too much of a man, which I figured out later on in life. Over masculinity is showing a sign of femininity. So I was really showing my feminine side, not being man enough to be able to speak to a brother without feeling hostile or feeling like I'm gonna have to fight him. Where I have to look at a brother, I gotta see me. I gotta see a reflection of myself. I gotta see a brother, not an enemy or an op. Second one, was I was molested by a female babysitter that we had in the neighborhood. She used to watch all the kids. So my triggers with her was like how she was so aggressive. So I had problems with dealing with aggressive women, you know, women who like to kind of take charge. I used to have like a snap mechanism that used to like, hey, hold up, you can't talk to me like that, because the chick was like a bully herself. You know, she was kind of heavy set, and you know, and which I was like 8 years old, man, and she was having her way, you know what I mean? It's like, and I felt helpless, you know what I mean? So that was definitely one of my triggers, and I learned how to deal with that by realizing that don't define me. What happened to me with her, with me and her, every woman ain't the same, and I had took it as every woman was in their own way nasty, and that wasn't right. So I fought with that demon, and I realized all women ain't her. Every woman, why you think God gave each one of us a different fingerprint? Because each one of us are different individuals. Okay, the third one was I always had the issue of money. You know, I used to always be like, man, I never was grateful for whatever I had. I done touched millions and millions and millions of dollars. But by me being so ungrateful and not thanking God for what I had, you know, my trigger was like, say, the average person, they might get down to their last 100,000 or 50,000, then they go into panic mode. My panic mode started a lot higher. So I look up and you're like, wow, man, I'm down to my last 700,000, 800,000. I start panicking like I'm down to my last $5 or $6. And I had to get past that trigger of realizing that, hey, we serve a God that has an unlimited supply of everything. So why should I be worried about a piece of paper with some green dye on it? And sure as God had that pressed up, he's going to press up some more. So, you know, those are just some of my triggers I just threw out there.
We're going to finish this video so I can make us all big again so y'all can see us. And then we're going to finish up the what we talking about, and, you know, comment or whatever. And we're going to take comments as they roll in. We had Mr. Conrad on here from Canada. I'm not for sure what happened. Maybe something happened with one of the kids, and maybe he'll come on before. But if not, y'all, this is definitely a collaboration y'all gonna want to see. It's a safe space for the men, not only for QOC, but any man that wants to have a safe place and a voice. We're open to collaborations. And God, like Jay Holland just said, why should we worry about numbers or about something with the green dye when he has everything in his hand? So we're gonna finish this video and I'm gonna make us back big, y'all.
This is why I don't get my hopes up. This is why I don't believe in good things. So I had a mental visualization of me grabbing that little girl's hand, and I took her to a hole. And together we reburied all of the old stuff I had already healed from. Rebury my disappointments of my mother. I had to go back and rebury the heartbreak that said I wasn't good enough. I had to go back and rebury every doubt, every fear, every failure. I also had to rebury the idea and the belief system that because tragedy has happened, this is all life will be for me. I cannot redefine a future when I'm still holding to beliefs that tell me that there is no future. What do you really believe?
And y'all know I was triggered. I was triggered.
Woo!
You talking about a little black girl from Pleasant Grove that was 5'3", was bullied because I was dark skinned, but because my mom is mixed and like she looks Hispanic, and so we had this wavy long hair. I was bullied for even have it was the hair texture thing. I was nerdy, so my daddy shipped me off to school, so I couldn't go to public school, and I buried all of that stuff. But some kind of way, I'm gonna be honest, I done start digging that stuff back up. I don't know why, but I catch myself digging up the stuff I so-called thought I had buried and healed. And just like Jay Holland, I was molested by a family member though for years. And my aunt knew, which was his mom, what was going on. And I thought I was over it till they called and said he died last year. Oh, I was triggered. You talking about fighting, wanting to fight, wanting to dig him out the casket. I was triggered because how dare you die? Without acknowledging what you did. And I'm like, Chef D, sometimes I had to learn to kind of release that because I wasn't going to get no closure. So this is why I want the men, to come in and I realized I wasn't going to get no closure for what had happened to me. And it did put limits on this little short, dark, thick girl. But God kept showing me through modeling, through movies, like Egypt, I'm opening doors. Stop looking at you with the eye that you're looking at. I'm seeing I created you in my image. And when we realize, I'm trying not to get emotional, when we realize that he created us in his image, then we all are beautiful. I had to learn that the hard way. I am triggered now. With men, if you stare at me too long, that triggers me. If you hit my inbox and say, hey, beautiful, hey, gorgeous, that triggers me. Like I am so triggered by so many things. And I'm trying to heal. I'm gonna be vulnerable. I'm gonna be transparent with you guys. And I don't care how many times you hit me and say, girl, you are bad. Girl, you are gorgeous. I don't see that girl, y'all. I see that little girl like that girl was sitting on that couch that was hiding, that was quiet, that was scared to say anything. I still see that little girl every time I look in the mirror. I don't know how to get past that. So I'm gonna let Damani do his thing, but it's just amazing how you are triggered just doing everything. I don't even like looking in mirrors. My mom gets mad. Like she'll say, go and look how you look in that dress. I'll walk real fast past it. It's a mental thing. It's amazing how we allow, like Damani said, past things or stress or whatever give us this mental block. And Chris said it, that can hinder us and hinder our growth and hinder our blessing. Paul said, every time I try to do good, evil is always present.
Yes.
I feel that more now than ever. So I'm through talking on triggers because I'm going to start crying. But I just want y'all to know that it's okay to be triggered. I was triggered on the day. And I said, God, it's a reason for everything that you do. I'm not going to question it, but help me to get through it. And that's why we have this licensed therapist on this thing. You ain't got to hear Egypt saying, oh, girl, ain't nothing wrong with Egypt because she knows she be on there made up. And baby, that's a persona. That's a persona that y'all see. That's why I say, if you really got to know me, you be like, oh my God, she's so dope. She did, she that. Y'all see that made up version and y'all, oh yeah, no. That's a little girl that done covered up. Like Chris said, I done camouflaged all that hurt, all that pain up, and I can't do it no more. So I'm gonna be open. I'm working on me. Chef D, we working on us. And it's okay to have those moments since you touched me this week. That's the reason for this show is you and your life. And this is going to have to be a series because there's more people that's out here hurting. And it's just, we keep saying trigger, trigger, trigger. I'm triggered every time I see the American flag wave right now. I'm a federal employee. My life is on 10. I have to send an email to Elon Musk's team every Tuesday. I'm on high alert over here. I'm triggered. So we got this therapist that's going to tell us and wrap up some stuff. But anybody else that want to say something real quick, y'all go ahead and y'all have the flow with it. And then I want Damani to end it out. But I do want Jay Holland to end this show out with prayer. We're not going to release this show here without prayer. Somebody need it. And it might be right here on these squares, but somebody need it. Somebody needs to hear that God is still a present help in a present time. And I don't care how our status look, if our money is like Jay Holland or if our money is like Egypt. Well, we live in check to check. I'm gonna be honest.
Yeah.
It's hard out here.
Yeah.
But we serve a God that is good. And if he take care of the birds of the earth, he will surely take care of us. And we twist his word when he say he reign on the just and the unjust. That ain't what he mean, that you could be out here doing what you want to do and he's still gonna bless you. That ain't what that scripture means. Stop twisting God's word. Right. He said he would take care of us, and where there's 2 or 3, and there's 6 of us on here. So whoever out there that's feeling like we feeling, whatever women that's out there that's feeling like us 3 women, hey, we being transparent. We putting it out here. We need help. We healing. We don't have it all together. We don't have the answers. But we serve a God that do. We have a serve a God that do. Akila, you go. Chef D, you go.
Go where? To bed?
No, man. Chris, you go. Damani, you go. And wrap us up. And then Jay Holland, I want you to lead us out in prayer. We're not going to prolong y'all. We're going to do a part 2 to this. Thanks for all the men that jumped on here because I love to see the man. The man is the head, y'all. It's an order to the way God did things. He didn't create women. He created them first. And then he came back and gave them a helpmate, which is us. So we are. I don't care what you want to say. You fit to get mad at me. Okay, y'all go ahead and hit my inbox. We are to fall in line. We are to be submissive, but the Bible does not say we have to be a floor mat because a real man knows his position and how to carry it.
And a real man needs to give a woman something to be submissive to.
There you go. And we will follow.
Amen.
Oh Lord, Jada started something. Akila ready. Oh Lord, where my buzzer?
I need a tambourine.
Where my buzzer? She ready to go.
There you go. I'm just
I
saying.
have been good this evening.
Yeah, I ain't trying to stir nothing up.
Come on, Akila, it's on you. Tag you it.
Not it. I want to thank everybody for being here and being open and sharing your stories with all of us, with everybody that's watching and commenting, because triggers are hard to deal with by yourself. And now we all up here on this platform sharing our triggers with other people. Ugh. When I tell y'all I can't breathe, I mean it. This segment triggered me. Y'all know now. I didn't tell you when you asked me to be on here. Y'all know now. But I want everybody to heal. And I know that the longer that we live, the more that we will experience. And the higher the possibility, it might be some more trauma, but we need to learn how to heal.
Yeah.
In any situation that we need healing from. If there's a wound, we need to learn to heal from it because it might come back up.
Yeah.
Some of us have to parent ourselves. A lot of people I know have lost their parents. So now it's our turn. We got kids, we got a parent, we got us, we got a parent. We have to make time and space for ourselves. And I am grateful for this platform where we can all do that. That's it. I'm going to bed.
Hey, come here. Look at me. Hey, look at me. What'd I say? No. Come here. Look at me. Hey.
I have to spank.
You gonna put a tech in me?
Come on. Miss D in the building. Thank you, sis, for being obedient and answering the call when I needed you for the show. Y'all, this is supposed to be womanhood segment with Miss AJ. She has been out sick. She has returned. So y'all get ready for some womanhood segments coming up here shortly. But Chef D she's just so sweet. So yes, come on, Green. Oh, I'm sorry, Chef D. I'm sorry.
I'm Granny up here right now. No, I'm just playing. Again, Egypt, I want to thank you and everyone on this panel. Like I've really been blessed to meet you all, like honestly, and everyone in the comments. If any of my TikTok people are in here, J. Marie, that's my girl. When I tell you, she been pushing me like, girl, we're gonna get this going. And I'm thankful for her as well. But I'm a piggyback off Akila. we got life still ahead of us, but understand that you need to take the time to yourself and definitely heal. It is very important. But I'm going to say this over, and I'm going to sound like a robot. You have to take accountability as well for what you're going through and how you react, and just all different types of things. You just got to take that accountability. And again, taking accountability means facing reality. So, and then it becomes real. But I think that's all I have to say on that.
She's Granny want to come out so bad. Y'all see her mouth. Y'all, if y'all haven't followed her, y'all gotta follow her. She has a look that she does when she gets ready to cut up. That's my girl. Y'all, man, QOC is so on fire, man. Y'all, yeah, we got comedy, we got everything. Y'all just don't know. We just putting it together, the masterminds, and God is orchestrating it. It ain't Egypt and Jade. It's not QOC. God is orchestrating what He wants to be shown and exhibited to the world. And again, y'all, Mr. Conrad, I'm assuming that something happened. We have collaborated with a dope podcast out of Canada, Ontario, Canada. We have crossed over the water outside the United States. That's why I say stop limiting God.
Ain't no water between us, man.
Where the Gulf of Mexico, the Gulf of America. I was trying to be good. You made me go there. You made me go there. The Gulf of America. You made me go there. I was trying to be good. But anyway, it just goes to show that you never know who's watching you, who's looking at you, who's watching how you. And that's the first thing he said. He said, I've been watching y'all. I've been watching how you move. I watch what you post. I watch your content. I watch what you say out of your mouth. That's why I say you always have to put, God said, position yourself where you always ready. We used to say in the hood, Jay, I stay ready to keep from getting ready.
Yeah.
You have to apply that to life. We have to apply that to life. So I'm humbled that people in a whole nother side of the world saw us and said, hey, I want to come over there. I want some of that.
It's the same side. I'm sorry.
It's the Gulf of America.
I told you I was getting kicked out the group tonight.
You just to get
Toodles, toodaloo. Move around. Go on somewhere. Do you?
There you go. Come on.
Oh man. I'm about to say, Akila, don't do it like that, man.
I was triggered.
Don't do it like that.
I was triggered. Geography
But
triggered me.
yeah, man. But I love it. I love the vibe. This is what QOC is all about. Jay Holland, what's up, brother, man?
What's
This
up, my
is
brother?
my man. Yo, this is what QOC is all about, man. Just like-minded brothers and sisters coming together to make an impact, man. So this is good stuff. I don't have too much to say, man, but belief is a powerful thing, man. That's what stuck with me when I heard that sister in her message, man. Believe what you gonna believe. And all I can hear is like, what report you gonna believe, man? What did God say about you? If God called you beautiful, why you believing yourself to be ugly? If God called you to be more than a conqueror, why you believing yourself to be a victim? If God called you strong, why you calling yourself weak?
Come on,
So
Deacon.
belief is a powerful thing, man. So just flow right there, man. What you gonna believe at the end of the day? And that's it right there, man. Conquer those triggers. Y'all got it.
All right,
Yeah.
Damani. Give us some how-to tips and some tips, because I know you like. He probably gonna tell his wife, all of them crazy, baby. All of them.
It ain't even like that. First, Egypt. Before we even move forward, I want you to stop and recognize what God has brought you through and who God has made you. You are all of those things. When people pour into you how beautiful you are, when people pour into you how talented you are, just because of a past experience, that does not erase who you are, who God called you to be. So you are all of those things included. So when people say those things about you, it's true. It's not, oh, well, you don't see this side of me. You don't see that side of me. That's okay. Because that doesn't erase the fact that you are light. You are those things. So don't erase that. regardless of what happened in your past. Don't allow that to define who you are and who God is calling you to do, calling you to be. So continue to move in that space. I had to start there. But I also read somewhere that the Lord is close to the brokenhearted and save those who are crushed in the spirit. A lot of times, oftentimes, we want the person who's done something to us to reconcile with us. We want them to face the vengeance. We want them to acknowledge what they've done to us. But oftentimes it's not going to happen. And that's when we have to trust in those who have faith, those who trust in God. That's when we have to listen to the word. That's when we have to get into our scripture and recognize that, because just because you've experienced this thing does not mean that healing cannot happen. Just because that individual done something to you does not mean that you can no longer heal and grow from it. So sometimes we have these unrealistic expectations that the person who's done us wrong is going to wake up one day and they're going to recognize it and they're going to love on us and they're going to say we're wrong and everything is going to be okay. That is not the reality of it, because 9 times out of 10, they are also victims and they are also hurt. And what they did was they did not find acceptance in God. They did not find the space to repent or to turn away from, and they succumbed to whoever preyed on them. But that does not have to be you. So that ain't got nothing to do with therapy. That's just me pouring out my spirit in that space. But on a therapeutic tip, that is still an important part, recognizing that, hey, that the person who's done me wrong may not happen. The second part is, like I mentioned before, finding that safe space, finding those therapeutic spaces, finding a licensed individual who you can be able to express these things and walk through this journey in the past with, to help you move forward from there. Being able to release that negative energy, being able to release that vengeance, because what you're doing is giving that person power. And that's what happens. A lot of times, especially when we have emotional triggers about something that happened in our life, somebody did something wrong with us, we continue to give that person power, and that controls our emotions. That controls how we feel. That controls every single aspect of our life. And that's free space that we're allowing them to have. So by going into this safe space and processing these things and being able to let go of that and set those, but at the same time, we still need to set proper boundaries to protect our peace. Because sometimes our own triggers may be our own parents. It may be our own family members. So set those boundaries to protect your peace, to ensure that you're okay. And there's nothing wrong with that. I'm gonna just leave it at that. Like I said, it's a lot. I could keep going, but for the sake of time and for the sake of moving forward, if we start there, if we start with recognizing that, hey, we might not be able to get the healing or the wake up moment for whomever done us wrong. We also there is importance in finding a safe space with a licensed individual to help us through that process, even if it's group therapy, even if, whatever it may be. And then also setting proper boundaries as an individual. Setting, I have clients who can't go back to certain cities, and that's okay. Don't force yourself to be in these spaces if you're not ready for it. And being able to have self-awareness of what the thing is, call it out and name it. Starting there could help with that process all together.
Y'all heard it from our licensed, and I keep emphasizing licensed therapist, Mr. Damani Anderson. He goes by My Big Black Therapist. You can catch him on all the social media under that. If you need therapy, and we encourage those to get that. The old people didn't believe in it. They told you to go to God for everything, and that's okay. That is our source. But we are seeing now that we still need that human connection. And if you need a therapist, I'm quite sure if you reach out to me or to QOC or Damani, he can't take you on, but he has somebody he can refer you to. We're just here to let you know that, y'all, we're going to get through 2025, 26, 27, and 28. We going to be all right. And we can go around rapping, they not like us, but we need to be those words, they not like us. We need to show the world that they not like us in a positive way, not a gang affiliated way, a bullying or a narcissistic way, but as a healthy, loving way. And if anybody wants to be a guest on QOC, y'all know to email us or go onto our website. If you want to know about any of the hosts, including Jay Holland, his bio is out there on our website. Y'all, this journey has been a blessing. I thank God for everybody that's on this platform. Real quick, Friday coming up is Quickie's 6th episode, I believe. It's a good one. She did the homie, or she smashed the homie, and I might be saying it wrong, but y'all know that's our grown and mature side. So, all right, Christian folks, don't get too tied up, because we do got Gospel Sunday with Quentin on Sundays. You know, we do come back and clean it up. And then QOC will actually be at the red carpet on Saturday for Oscar Road to the Oscars movie, Mommy's Perfect Match. So we'll be hosting and broadcasting that. I don't know if we're going to go live and do that. It takes a lot to do that, but we will be there broadcasting and hosting that Saturday at 6 o'clock. We come back next week with this scary shit of Akila's Flick Chick Horror House. She's doing March Madness. I don't even like helping her with production. I'm so scary. I don't even like to click the stuff she's talking about. But anyway, for those that like the horror films, y'all know she coming up next week. And then we're building, like Miss Just Call Me D said, we're building her segment up. I see now this is gonna be she gonna have all kind of stuff going. She is a chef, y'all. She's a professional chef. That's why when y'all hear me say Chef D, that she's actually a chef. But she has so many talents. Coach Chris is gonna be lining up something with our brother in Canada. Coming up here soon. All the way across the morning, it's gonna be King's Conversation, or it still might be Kingsman, which was his idea. Jay Holland is our wild card. He's always in the paint, y'all. Y'all don't know when he gonna come through. If y'all don't know who he is, I'm just gonna say this: Google him, because y'all see how we were looking when he said he got down to his last 700,000. I ain't never in the history of niggerdom seen that many zeros in my. Now, when I was counting it at the bank, I saw that, but like physically in my hand, yeah. So I was like, brother, look, I got my feet repaired last week, and I looked at my bank account like, Jesus, I'm a dip in here like the woman did with the barrel, like fill it up, Jesus. But he got on here, he was transparent. So if you don't know him, Google him. He is a changed man, y'all. I love his spirit and what he's doing. Presidential award winning Jay Holland. He got that award from the president himself this year, y'all. So he is part of QOC. Without further ado, I just want to tell all of y'all, I love y'all here that's on the platform. All of those, the rest of the hosts, I love y'all too. To the audience members, we love y'all. Keep the comments coming, the titles coming. If you want to see more of Jay, you want to hear more of his testimony, we could line it up where he could tell y'all his spirit. It's gonna freak you out when you hear it, though. It's gonna make you get right. It's one of them Passion of the Christ testimonies. I'm just gonna leave it there. Yeah. Without further ado, what the world needs now is love, and most definitely we need prayer. And I will not let a woman lead us out in prayer when we have men at the table. So, Mr. Jay Holland, I want you to pray us out. Pray for those that are listening, those that might come across it. Pray for us that's on the platform. And then whatever God tell you to do after that, brother, go for it. And we will see y'all next week.
Okay, I'm gonna hit y'all with this real quick too before I start praying, because I went spoke to some high school kids today. They just see this segment today. We just talked to the young men, but the next time we're gonna talk to the young women. And one thing I peeped out with a lot of these kids, they all want to be rich, but they don't want to put I call them microwave kids. They want everything to come quick.
Me too.
They don't want to work for it. Hey, I ain't gonna lie. I was the same way. I wanted to hit a home run every time I get up to bat. But I mean, sometimes it don't go like that.
Yeah.
So we got to be complacent to be like, hey, if I get on base, at least I'm making progress. Because sometimes God, he can't make you rule over a lot if you don't handle the little stuff he give you.
Yes, sir.
So, and I broke them down, and I'm gonna give y'all this. This for you, Easy, because you were said about the money. See, it's like I've always been people call me frugal. I mean, I'll spend money on what I want to spend it on, but I always had now I got a fourth strand. But I always live my life by 3 strands of money. I call like your flip money, the money you invest, investment money. The second one is what you call your emergency money. The third one is what I call the money I ain't touching. I don't care if the kids need Pampers. I'll pawn some before I touch this money. Because if you touch that money, when you really, really get broke, you're going to be broke for real. Now, I just added recently, it's credit. Because I never believed in credit. I always believed in money I had in a safe or in some kind of bank or something like that. I never believed in, credit. So now I've added the credit, to the thing too. And I never understood how it worked. But I stress to everybody out there, get your credit right, save you some money, and get you some weapons because it's looking kind of bad out here, Get you some weapons.
America, we don't even know what Dallas gonna be called next week.
For real, man. And these orange men out here, it's a whole lot of stuff going on. But I mean, we gotta stay prayerful, but we also gotta be prepared. Okay, and I'm gonna go and hit us with a prayer. Y'all ready?
Okay, we ready.
Okay. Dear Heavenly Most High, God of gods, King of kings, Lord of lords, the great I am, the masculine and feminine power that reigns over us in heaven. I want to start off by saying, Lord, forgive us for anything we've done wrong in your eyes, anything we've done wrong knowingly and unknowingly. We ask for forgiveness. We repent at this moment so that you can hear us clearly, so that we ain't praying to you with a dirty prayer. We want to come to your house clean. And also, Lord, we want to pray for those who are online, pray for those who are offline, those who wanted to be online. We send a prayer up to everybody. We pray that you keep everybody covered like a warm blanket on a cold day. And we thank you in advance. And also, Lord, I also ask you to increase all of my people on this podcast right now, increase all of our territories, Lord. We serve a God that sits high and look low. And he has an unlimited supply of everything that we need. We just ask you to tap into everything. Enrich everybody in every position that they need, Lord, like only you can. And also, Lord, I want to say if we had 1,000,000 miles, 1,000,000 tongues, we couldn't thank you enough for what you've already done, what you're doing, and you're going to do in the future. In Jesus Christ's name we pray. Amen.
Amen. Who going to sing the benediction song?
Oh, can it be a duet?
You know the song?
No.
You got to hold the amen. Oh, we got praise and worship Damani on here. We got the praise and worship team on here.
Oh, man.
Damani said, no, you would not. No, you would not. With that being said, you guys, we will see y'all next week. Thank y'all. And we
are the kings and queens. Stepping clean as a whistle when we be on the scene. Been adjusting our crown. Can you see what we mean? Let's talk about it. Let's talk about it. Let's talk about it. We are the kings and queens. Stepping clean as a whistle when we be on the scene. QOC. Been adjusting our crown. Can you see what we mean? Let's talk about it. Let's talk about it. Let's talk about it. I'm really trying to be there for my people. Unified, be there for the sequel. You and I speak, I hope I reach you. We the vibe, QOC gon' teach you. My peoples, are you with me? Where you at? So much going on in the world, we just have to face the facts. I've been making marks in the world, so you know I can't relax. Gotta get it, got it till it's good, then be able to run it back. Hold up, we are the kings and queens. Stepping clean as a whistle when we be on the scene. Been adjusting our crown, can you see what we mean? Let's talk about it. Let's talk about it. Let's talk about it. We are the kings and queens. Stepping clean as a whistle when we be on the scene. Been adjusting our crown, can you see what we mean? Let's talk about it. Let's talk about it. Let's talk about it.